Okay, so we are going to finish the lamp. I'm first going to go over what I named this whole section right here and the lampshade. So this section right here, it's called the lamp fitting parts. Then I have my lampshade right here. And then I have the lamp base right here. The lamp base is made out of the base and these five legs right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next, I'm going to turn on the visibility for the lamp fitting. So the lamp fitting is going to be this group right here, and I'm going to go over what I named everything. So at the very bottom, if I open my lamp fitting parts, I have the socket. This is the socket piece right here. The socket holds the light bulb. Obviously, I have the light bulb. This area here is called the saddle. Right here. These are couplings, one here and one here. So coupling number 1, coupling number 2. This section right here is the lamp fitting washer to harp. This piece right here is called the harp on a lamp. So on the very, very top, this is how you tie down the light shades on lamps. So this piece right here, this piece is right here on the top. These are called the lock ball, and this is the lock washer 1. And then I have the lock washer 2 down here. And all I did, I created a rod. So this is called the vertical rod. And then I have 4 fittings right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these are all grouped in a group called the lamp fitting parts. Next, I have the lampshade. This is the lampshade right here. If I select this and I move my mouse on the outliner and hit F, this will be the shade. Then I have 8 vertical pipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So these are called lampshade vertical pipes. And then this is the lampshade top pipe. And this one right here is the lampshade bottom pipe. Perfect. Now that we have all of these guys right here named correctly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create that plate that goes on the top. If I switch to panels perspective, my render cam shape, I hit 6 for texture, and I hit X-ray, and I use my backspace right mouse button to zoom in, zoom out. I'm going to quickly create this plate right here using a disk. So let's do that. Let's switch the camera to my perspective, spacebar, click on my perspective. And I'm going to create a plate that's going to go inside of this rod. So to do that, I'm going to go to Create menu, Polygon Primitives, and I'm going to go for a disk right here. All right, so here is our polygon disk. It's a little bit heavy, and I don't need so many edges on the outside, and the geometry right here cannot be bent in such a way that it looks like an upside down plate, like what we need right here in our design. So what I'm going to do, instead of having 3 subdivisions, is I'm going to switch this down to 2. Select this guy, delete it, and I'm going to click on apply. So now I have this circle right here, this disk, and if I hit 3, it doesn't look round on the edges. However, if I select this edge loop right here on the outside, and I hit R for scale, and I hold shift well, I extrude from the middle, and let's say that we create 1, 2, and 3 face loops. Now, when I hit 3, you'll notice that the perimeter is perfectly round. And if we select these 3 faces right here, and I delete them, notice that we end up with 8 edges. So now, if I select these edges right here, scale them down, and I'm going to scale down this loop right here, and I'm going to scale down this loop right here. I just want square faces as much as I can. When I hit 3, you'll notice that we have a perfectly round disc with a perfectly hole that we're going to put on this piece right here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and select this disc right here. I'm going to move it to our lamp with the move tool, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to hit F to frame it, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide the lampshade, and let me hide the render cam and my image card, and let's move this all the way up to here. So I'm going to go to my front view right here and my side view, and while pressing V, snap to point, I'm going to snap the disc right here, move it to where it should be. We're going to give it a little bit of thickness in a few seconds. And then in this view, same thing, V, and then move it right here. So now, as you can see, if I turn on my lampshade and turn on my image card, you'll notice that our disc is in the correct position. I'm going to hit R for scale, scale it from the middle so that it matches our design right about there. Perfect. And now all I need to do is bend it in the following manner. I'm going to select this edge loop right here, and I'm going to move it down in smooth preview so that it goes inside of our lamp right about here. And then I'm going to select this edge loop. I'm going to do the same thing, and then I'm going to select this edge loop right here and do the same thing. And I'm going to see if this matches our design real quickly. Okay, they do. I'm going to move this guy up. Actually, I need to move the entire thing down right about there. And I'm going to go back to those edge loops right here. Let's go to edge loop, double click on the outer perimeter one, move this one up. I want to make sure that it doesn't go outside of the lamp. So right about there. And I'm going to select that, make it a little bit bigger. And remember, you want to leave like a little bit of ventilation, I assume. Remember, we're making this up. We don't know what was going on in the mind of the concept designer. This one, I'm going to not only scale it, but I'm going to move it up like this. And then I'm going to double click on this one right here and move this one up. And as you can see, we created this plate right here to match our design. Now we're going to give it a little bit of thickness. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to isolate select it. Let's actually select this tiny little hole right here. And let's make this one smaller. I'm going to select this object mode in the rod. Isolate select it. Yeah, it's way, way too big. So let's select this edge loop, hit R for scale, scale it somewhere like about this right there. And now it is time to create thickness to this object. The way that we're going to do this is I'm going to select this right here. Let me select this edge loop right here. With the selection tool, double click, hold shift. Remember, it's stopping because it has a bunch of deltas. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit R for scale, scale this right about here. And I'm going to add a new edge loop right here with the multicut tool. I'm going to hold Control and then Shift. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. I'm going to go to my side view. I'm going to hit 3. Fantastic. This guy right here, I'm going to move it right about there. And remember, you always want to follow the drawing. That is perfect right there. Excellent. let's give some thickness to this plate right here. I assume this plate would be something to do with ventilation. Let's move these guys down. Perfect. All right, and then double check with the drawing. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to select this object, faces, all of them. And we're going to go with the traditional extrude tool. I'm going to go to Shift, right mouse button, extrude faces. And we're going to look for that blue handle right here. Do not worry that this, when we extrude it, is going to go inside out. And let's go right about here, something like this. Right, we want to give it some thickness. This edge loop right here, let's go ahead and select it. So let's flip the whole object. Let's go to Mesh Display, Reverse. Fantastic. It's all gray. And I'm going to select this edge loop here, hold Shift. Remember, it's ending on these deltas, so it doesn't know what to do. And we're going to do it right here. Right? Do not select the edges in the middle. And let's go Shift, right mouse button, bevel, chamfer off. And we're going to leave it right here. This is 0.5. I'm going to hit 3. And notice what a beautiful bevel you get here. And let's do the same thing right here with this edge. We're losing the volume right here. So let's select this edge loop here, hold Shift, select this one right here. And we're going to try to imitate that bevel right there. So let's go Shift, right mouse button, bevel, chamfer off. Let's leave it at 0.5. They look the same. Let's hit 3. Beautiful. So we are done with this, which I'm going to call the lamp shade plate. So lamp underscore shade underscore plate underscore geo. And remember, we want to put everything in the visual order that we see right here. So it is going to be below. And let's select this washer right here. I'm going to move it down, but always making sure that it looks good based on our drawing right here. And it looks like I'm going to have to make it thicker. So I'm going to go right mouse button, vertices, and I'm going to select these top vertices and I'm going to move them up to match the drawing. It's kind of hard to see, so I'm just going to say that this looks incredible. Fantastic. Okay, so if you want to make this wider, remember you can use the scale tool, but scale it in the X and the Z, but not on the Y, so by clicking on this right about here, right? This little green. And I think this looks better. Yes, my ball at the top and this washer are off, but if I move these guys like this, you'll notice that they match the drawing. Fantastic. Let me move them back so that they are centered with the lamp. This is perfect. This is perfect. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move it right below the ball, right below the washer. So I'm going to select the ball and the washer. I'm going to move my mouse on the outliner, hit F. There they are. So let's go ahead and select this newly created lampshade plate geo. Middle mouse drag it so that it's right below the ball, the lock ball, and the lock ball washer. And we are now done with our lamp. If I hide the shade, this is what we have right here. These are the fittings, the lamp fittings. I'll probably put this with the lamp fittings layer. So I'm going to select the lampshade plate. I'm going to go right mouse button over the lamp fitting layer, and I'm going to go to add selected objects. And if I turn this off and it works, I am perfectly done. So now we are going to move on to our UVs. And I'm going to turn the visibility for everything except for my render cam and my image card. And we are pretty much done. Let me go to the default view for this camera right here. And I'm going to rotate it right about here. And as you can see, if I look at this drawing right here, let's get out of the pan 2D and zoom. This is what we have here. Let's get rid of X-ray shaded. And we are pretty much done with our modeling. We are going to continue now with the lamps shade. I guess we would call these frills right here. I'm going to show you how to make these. And then we are going to finish with this cord right here, which we'll probably do some sort of a chain or an old-fashioned cord. And once we're done with our modeling, then we will go into creating UVs this week. So let's continue now with these frills right here at the end of the lamp.